Recording is on.
So can everyone hear me and can everyone see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the previous class, we had learned about the Bohr's theory. Now, while doing this Bohr's theory, we had come across a term which is the Planck's constant. We had seen this term which is known as the Planck's constant. So what does this term indicate? What is this Planck's constant? That we need to see. So for that, we need to know about the particle nature of radiation. But before that also, we need to have a basic idea about electromagnetic radiations. So electromagnetic radiation. This is just a revision of what we have done in lower classes. Electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so suppose consider a wave. You have done wave in physics. So this is a wave. With its crest and troughs. So this is the wave. Now, tell me what is this? What is this called? What is the name of this maximum displacement? You know this. What is this called? This is called amplitude of a wave. Amplitude. So the maximum displacement of the wave, that is known as the amplitude. So then tell me this one. What is this distance called? This is known as the wavelength. This is known as the wavelength, lambda, which is the wavelength. Wavelength. Okay. Then the uppermost position of a wave, this is called the crest. And the bottommost position of a wave, that is called the trough. So these are the basic markings of a wave. And this is the source, basically, vibrating source. And this is basically the propagation of energy. That we have done about electromagnetic radiation. So this is how a wave is going to look like. So a wave is consisting of crest and trough. So the upper area, the uppermost area of the wave is known as the crest, whereas the bottommost area of the wave, that is known as the trough. Okay. And the maximum displacement of the wave, that is known as the amplitude. And the distance between two nearest trough, or it can be this also, between two nearest crest, that is known as the wavelength of a wave. So what is a wave? Now can you tell me what you mean by a wave? So now that you've known about the markings on a wave, what is a wave? How do you define wave? Wave is basically a disturbance. which is originating from a vibrating source. So a wave is a disturbance which is originating from a vibrating source, right? And what is a radiation? So when we are saying about this word electromagnetic radiation, so what does this word radiation mean? So radiation is basically a method for transferring the energy into different form. So a radiation is a method, a radiation is a method of transference of energy of different form. So that is what the radiation is. That means it is a mode by which one form of energy is converted to another form of energy. That is our radiation thing. Now this is just how to identify a wave. These are the markings on a wave. You do not, they will not be asked in your exam, but you need to have a basic idea of them in order to apply them in different numericals. Now there are also other things regarding wave, which is the frequency of a wave. Frequency. So what is this frequency of a wave? Frequency. Frequency is denoted by this symbol, this. This is called nu. So this symbol is known as nu. So this symbol is pronounced as nu. Okay, so this symbol is known as the nu. So what is frequency? Frequency is number of waves which passes through a given point in 1 second. In 1 second. So frequency is basically how many times it is occurring. Whenever we call frequency, frequency term is related to how many times it is happening. That is your frequency. How many times a particular event is happening. That is frequency in a particular amount of time. So here also frequency has been defined as how many waves are passing in 1 second of time. Okay, so that is the frequency. Like say you have your school, out of 7 days, suppose 5 days in a week. So that means the frequency is 5. Out of 7, 5 days you have to go to school. So that means how many times it is happening within a given period of time. So here also frequency. Now here too you are not dealing with the number of school days. Here you are dealing with the wave. So that is why frequency is how many waves are passing through a particular point in 1 second. The time factor is very important in frequency. That means in a particular given amount of time, how many times a particular event is happening. Then you need to know about the wave number. So what is this wave number thing? Wave number. Wave number is denoted by nu bar. Wave number is denoted by nu bar. So wave number is basically the reciprocal of wavelength. Reciprocal of wavelength. reciprocal of wavelength. So it is the number of waves per meter, number of waves per meter. So the formula for wave number becomes nu bar is equal to 1 by lambda, because it is said reciprocal of wavelength. So that is why 1 by lambda, reciprocal has been done. So nu bar is equal to 1 by lambda. So frequency is number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. And this one is how many waves are present in 1 meter. So that was in 1 second how many waves are present, and wave number is in 1 meter how many waves are present. So this is given by the reciprocal of the wavelength. Okay, 1 by lambda. So these are some of the important terminologies related to a wave. Now this thing is not related to to this particular chapter. Okay, neither will they be asked directly in your paper, but we need to apply these things. So this was a brief recapitulation of the wave mechanics that we have done in physics. So let's do it once again. So what is this radiation? Whenever we are calling about electromagnetic radiation, so what is this radiation? Radiation is basically a method by which one form of energy is transferred into different forms of energy. Now you must be associated with this diagram of a wave. So wave is basically how the energy is propagating. So wave is a method by which the energy is propagated from a particular source. Okay. So in a wave, the uppermost part of a wave is known as the crest, whereas the bottommost part is known as the trough. Okay. Then the maximum displacement of the wave, the maximum displacement, that is known as amplitude. Amplitude is also denoted by capital A. Whereas the distance between two troughs or the distance between two crests, that is known as the wavelength. Okay. So, and what is frequency? Frequency is the number of wave that is passing through a particular point in 1 second of time. And wave number is basically the reciprocal of wavelength. That means in a 1 meter of region, how many waves are passing through it. That is your wave number. So then you also have the velocity of a wave. Velocity of a wave is given by velocity c, that is given by nu into lambda. Nu into lambda. That is the velocity. So from here you can also come to a very important formula, that is nu is equal to c by lambda. So nu bar is equal to 1 by lambda, whereas nu is equal to c by lambda. Okay. So these are the basic idea of this wave. Now let us see about electromagnetic radiation. This was the simply wave. What is a wave? But now let us look into the fact called electromagnetic spectra. Electromagnetic spectra. This is also something that you might already know. Electromagnetic spectrum.
Velocity.
What is velocity? Velocity
Yes.
is basically how fast the wave is moving. Velocity of a wave is how fast the wave is moving. Okay? How fast the wave is moving, given by nu, that is the frequency, into lambda. Okay. So nu means how many waves are happening in a given 1 second, and lambda is the distance. So suppose if the frequency is 10, okay, if the frequency is 10, frequency 10 mane there are 10 waves in 1 second of time, and lambda, suppose lambda is 1. So then what is my velocity? 10 into 1 meter per second. That is the velocity of the wave. 10 into 1 meter per second, that's ultimately 10 meter per second. So velocity is how fast the wave is propagated. So you need to remember these two formulas that has been written in box. Other than that, you need to have a basic idea. That's it. Then you have the electromagnetic spectrum. So let us see about this one. Okay, so what is electromagnetic spectrum? This is the arrangement obtained by arranging different types of electromagnetic radiation in increasing or decreasing order, or decreasing also, order of the wavelength or frequency is known as electromagnetic radiation. Sorry, electromagnetic spectrum, not radiation. Okay. So what does this definition mean? So this definition is saying that we have different waves. We have, when we are talking about radiation, we have different kinds of radiations are present, right? Different radiation has different wavelength. Different radiations are going to have different wavelength. Now, so electromagnetic spectrum is simply arranging them. If we keep them in an ordered fashion from the increasing order of wavelength or frequency, whatever be the criteria, just arranging them in an ordered fashion. We have different sources and different kinds of radiation. Different kinds of radiations are there, and each of them has got a different wavelength and frequency. So of the different kinds of radiations that we have, each of them has different wavelength and frequency. So now if they are all haphazard, then it is very difficult for us to remember them and also to apply. So that is why electromagnetic spectrum is just simply arranging them in a ordered fashion. Now that ordered fashion can be from increasing order, decreasing order, on basis of wavelength or frequency, whatever. The main aim is to arrange them in a systematic manner. And this systematic manner of arranging this radiation, that is only known as the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay. So What are the radiations that are present? That is gamma rays. Starting with gamma rays. So this order you need to remember, very important. Not the definition. Definition is just for basic understanding. Order is something that you need to remember. So at the first we have gamma rays. You know, so now you tell me what comes after gamma. Gamma rays followed by X-rays. X-rays. After X-ray, we have the ultraviolet rays, UV radiation, UV, followed by visible. Okay. Then followed by the infrared, IR, infrared. Then followed by microwaves. And then followed by radio waves. Radio waves. Okay. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So these are the different kind of radiations that are present. Gamma, X-ray, UV, visible, IR, microwaves, and radio waves. So we have arranged them in a ordered, systematic manner. And on what basis has this arrangement been done? This is on basis of decreasing order of frequency. Decreasing order of frequency. Decreasing order of frequency. So gamma ray has the highest frequency, followed by X-ray, then UV, then visible, then IR, then microwaves, and then radio waves. So see, we have arranged them. It was said also either in increasing or decreasing order of their wavelength or frequency. So this has been arranged in decreasing order of their frequency. And if we consider from this side, that is right to left, this is basically the decreasing order of wavelength. Decreasing order of wavelength. So why is it so? Because see the formula, lambda is equal to nu is equal to c by lambda. Nu is equal to c by lambda. That means if frequency increases, wavelength is decreasing. So nu is inversely proportional to lambda. So which means with increase in frequency, the wavelength is going to decrease. So that is why gamma rays has the highest frequency and the smallest wavelength. Gamma rays has the highest frequency and thus the smallest wavelength. And as you are moving from left to right, the frequencies are decreasing. As a result of that, their wavelength increases. So that is why radio waves, they have the smallest frequency but the largest wavelength. Okay, now a brief idea about radio waves. Radio waves are generally used in our telecommunication signals. So in all our mobile phones and satellite communication, radio waves are used because of their very large wavelength. Microwaves are generally used in micro ovens. The microwave oven that we have, there we have our microwaves being used. Okay, in microwave do not heat anything. It is simply the heating is done by this wave, because microwave have a special property that it can actually cause microwaves can increase the vibration of water molecules that are present in the food. Food has water molecules in it. So microwave has a special tendency, it has a special property to increase the vibrations of the water molecule. And the increase in the vibration of the water molecule causes the food to warm up. Okay, so the food that is getting hot in microwave, that is not happening due to the supply of heat. Okay, like in our gas or induction cooker, heat is being supplied, but in microwave there is no such source of heat. There is a source of radiation. So by heating the microwave, by radiating the food with microwaves, what happens? The water molecule starts to vibrate, and as a result of that, the food gets hot. So microwaves are used in micro oven. Then IR, the daily life application of infrared radiations are. Can you tell me, where do you apply daily life infrared radiation? In the remotes of our TV, there the infrared radiations are used. Obviously, if you have seen, if you have observed well, then at the head of the remote there is a small glass bead kind of thing, right, which you need to project toward the TV in order to change it. So that is the source of infrared emitter. Okay. Then visible light is only the small portion of light which we can actually observe. So the visible section is the only one which can be observed by us. And the visible section consists of, what is the visible spectrum? Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So it is VIBGYOR. So the visible portion is the only portion of light which is visible to the human eye. Rest, the entire spectrum is not visible to us. That is only seen by us by the instrument. But normally with our human eyes, we cannot see any of the light other than the visible spectrum. And what is the wavelength of visible spectrum? Visible spectrum is falling under the wavelength of 380 to 760 nanometer. So this is the range of your human eye, 380 nanometer to 760 nanometer. Anything outside this range is not visible to the human eye. Okay. Then you have the ultraviolet radiation, okay, and X-rays and gamma rays. These are high frequency and high energy radiations. So please remember this order of the waves. It will be helpful for both physics as well as chemistry, because you have this spectrum in physics also. In fact, in physics, you have all these things in much more details. Here, so you just need to know a basic idea of this spectrum, but their details must be done. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So what is ultimately this electromagnetic spectrum is nothing but just a way of arranging all these different types of radiation. Otherwise, it becomes very haphazard if we do not arrange them in a systematic fashion. So that is why whenever we are arranging these radiations in a systematic way, that is only defined as the electromagnetic radiation. Okay, am I clear to everyone? Hello, is this wavelength? Okay, so it's clear. Now let us see to the next topic, which is the particle nature of radiation. Particle nature of radiation. So what is this? Let's have a look. So till now we have been learning till this topic. In today's topic, we have seen that radiation is basically wave, right? Radiation is a form of wave. So whenever we are talking about radiations, we are referring to a propagation of a wave, right? Radiation follows the wave mechanics, and we have seen also the different kinds of radiation shown by different waves, different types of wave. But now we are going to see the Planck's quantum theory, which is saying that no, radiation is not wave, but rather radiation is a particle. The nature of radiation is not like a wave, rather it is like that of a particle. So that's why now we are going to study about the particle nature of radiation. particle nature of radiation. The particle nature of radiation. So this is only we are going to read over here about our Planck's quantum theory. Planck's quantum theory. Not quantum number, sorry, quantum theory. Achha, by the way, in your class test, are you getting assertion and reasoning questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope you know how to solve assertion and reasoning questions.
Yes.
Okay. So those questions in the exams, be very careful on while solving them. Okay. Like, do not be in a hurry. First, do the normal MCQ questions, and then think and mark the assertion and reasoning, because there are high chances of making mistakes in them. So please do not be careful while marking, and do not leave any questions, because I don't think you have any negative marking. So even if you do not know an answer to a particular question, do not leave that. Okay. So the the particle nature of radiation, which is the Planck's quantum theory. So under this theory, will be getting to see that radiation is not wave. Radiation is acting like a particle. So previously we had seen, and we had read also in lower classes as well, that radiation mane wave. Radiation is a wave. But now our notion of these things are going to change, because now we are going to learn that radiation is more like a particle. So why is it so? So before now again moving to the Planck's quantum theory, we need to get some evidence. Like, why did Planck even say that radiation is a wave? So for that, the very important experiment, that is the photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Okay. So what is this photoelectric effect? So photoelectric effect, now see, this photoelectric effect was given by Einstein. Okay. Photoelectric effect is mainly given by Einstein, and this is only the Nobel Prize winning work for Einstein. So the Nobel Prize winning work for Einstein is not that formula E equal to mc square, although that is much popular. Although that is the popular one, most popular work of Einstein is his general theory of relativity, the energy and mass conversion. That is the most popular theory. Everyone has heard about that theory, the theory of relativity. But theory of relativity is not the most popular work of, is not the Nobel Prize winning work of Einstein. Einstein got his Nobel Prize not for theory of relativity, but for giving the photoelectric effect. So this is the Nobel Prize winning work of Einstein. Although compared to photoelectric effect, relativity is a much popular work of Einstein. Photoelectric effect, although is not not useful or anything as of that sort, it is not so much popular. But relativity is extremely popular, and the very, like, if you want to appreciate the geniusness of Einstein, that is, he gave his theory of photoelectric effect and his theory of relativity along with another theory which I forgot in the same year, in 1905. So relativity, photoelectric effect, and another theory. Now see, all these three different theories that are there, all these three different theories are completely different from one another. It is not there something related. So that means all the three works that Einstein did in that year are completely different from one another. Photoelectric effect is completely different concept. Theory of relativity is a completely different concept. And another theory which I forgot, that is also a completely different subject. But he did all this work and published this work in the same year, which is like a huge achievement. Okay, all these three papers were published within the same year, in the same year of 1905. So 1905 was like the best year of Einstein's life scientifically, and that is like a very very big achievement, because I don't know whether you know it or not. See, whenever a new research is done in science, they are published in scientific journals. So what are the scientific journals? Just like you have magazines, right? You have magazines like news magazines, then magazines on Bollywood, right? We have magazines of all those sorts, magazines related to fashion industries. So here also, science also has magazines. So there are magazines of science as well, which are published, supposed, monthly. And there are thousands and thousands of magazines. Just like we have thousands and thousands of magazines based on news articles, based on fashion. So here also, for science also, you have thousands of magazines. Different kinds of magazines are there. Obviously, now some magazines are better than the other ones. So obviously, there are different grades of magazines, but yes, many magazines are there. So these scientific magazines, where suppose the achievements in science are published, that is only known as a scientific journal. So scientific journal is nothing but a science magazine. So all these three, whenever a scientist does a work, his first thing will be to publish that work in a magazine, because unless and until you publish that work in a scientific journal, it does not become publicly accepted. One who publishes it first in the journal, his work will be acknowledged. So even if you do a particular work in the same time, suppose two scientists does the same invention within a same time period, but the one who publishes it first, that one becomes more, that he one is actually acknowledged for the invention. So that is why publishing a work in a journal is like making it official, making his invention official. So normally what happens, scientists publish one work or two work at most in a particular year, and both the works are related to the same topic. And here we have Einstein publishing three works in the same year, all of which are completely based on different topic. Okay. Anyways, okay. Only Snigdha is there. What about the others? Did the others leave, Snigdha?
Sir, I think so that issue.
Net issue. Okay. Okay, let's wait then for some time for others to come.
Only they got left, sir.
Yes, I also heard the sound of leaving. That is why I checked also. How many were there approximately? So Snigdha, what do you want to do after class 11, 12? What is your target?
Target, sir. Need want to write J and crack the J.
Okay, so you want to go for engineering.
Yes.
Okay. So any particular branch of engineering that you target, or you haven't decided on that?
Not decided, sir, yet.
Okay. So first you crack and then you will see what engineering options you get. That's nice.
Yes.
So are you preparing for those exams? So you have to prepare it, okay? Prepare it from class 11 on. Practice questions, that will be helpful, because these exams are easy if you practice enough questions. I've told the other students as well before that cracking JE or NEET, they are not that difficult. If a student practices the question throughout the year, then it becomes very easy. Not very easy, but quite easy. And not that tough also for him to or her to crack that exam. Because what happens, the main toughness of this exam does not lie on the question paper. Question paper is standard. It is neither easy nor that tough. What makes this JEE or NEET tough, that is the syllabus of the exam. Because as you know, that your JEE or NEET, whatever exam you give, it will be based on both your class 11 and class 12 syllabus. Okay, so both class 11 and class 12 full syllabus. No such deduction. Okay, so all these things that are being deducted out by CBSE due to the pandemic, the parts of your syllabus, even those are also there. Okay, so the entire thing, no deduction, nothing. Entire thing of class 11 and class 12 are there in JEE and NEET, all the chapters. So that means on that particular day of exam, you have to read 3 subjects, that is physics, chemistry, mathematics. So physics, chemistry, mathematics, and that too for 2 years. So 11, 12. So basically it's like 6 subject, physics 2 paper, 11, 12, chemistry 2 paper, 11, 12, mathematics 2 paper, 11, 12. So that means basically 6 subjects, each of whose syllabus is huge in a 3-hour exam. So that's where the difficulty lies. So the difficulty doesn't lie on the toughness of the question paper. It is on the extent of the syllabus. The syllabus is huge, and you have to give that, remember the syllabus and give that exam in 1 day within 3 hours of time. Then what happens, even now, see, there are so much topics to read. Chemistry has so much topic, so many topics, so many formulas in physics, so many formulas in mathematics, that the easy things will also now you will start to forget. Now, like I was telling you in the previous day's class, like when you are doing the Bohr's theory, radius is equal to 0.529 n square by z. 0.529 n square by z. Now this one is very easy to remember. When you are simply reading atomic structure, you can easily remember this formula. Radius is equal to 0.529 into n square by z. But when you have to remember all the 6 subject, class 11, 12, physics, chemistry, mathematics, everything in one particular day, then comes the challenge, because then you will start to forget even these easy formulas also. Not forget, but rather you will start to get confused by looking at the options. So in order that this thing does not happen, what you need to do is practice. So the more you practice, the better you get at these things. So you do not need like huge difficult questions. Practice are not needed. More than that, practice easy question, but be in regular practice. So for that, you should also give the test that are there in this website only. So you should.
Monday is our exam, chemistry exam.
Hmm.
Sir, you can give some of important question in group.
In the group, which group?
Huh?
You have a WhatsApp group?
Yes. And only first chapter will come in this exam.
Okay. Okay. So then we can do that. So I will give it to you, and I will send it to your sir, and he will give it to you.
Yes, Monday is our exam, chemistry exam.
Okay, so then I will send you the questions by tomorrow, so that you can
Yes,
practice
tomorrow.
it up.
Yes.
And if you get stuck also in any question, then we might do it on the Sunday class. So that will be
Yes,
nice
sir.
then. So then I'll be giving it to you tomorrow. And
Yes.
now, as I see that others are not coming, so there's no point of continuing further. Okay, so then
Yes.
I think it's better to stop then today. And in the next class, we'll start from this photoelectric effect. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so then bye. I'm disconnecting the call.
Yes.